The platypus, sometimes referred to as the duck-billed platypus, is a semiaquatic, egg-laying mammal endemic to eastern Australia, including Tasmania. The platypus is the sole living representative or monotypic taxon of its family and genus, though a number of related species appear in the fossil record. Platypuses hunt underwater, where they swim gracefully by paddling with their front webbed feet, and steering with their hind feet and beaver-like tail. Folds of skin cover their eyes and ears to prevent water from entering, and the nostrils close with a watertight seal. In this posture, a platypus can remain submerged for a minute or two and employ its sensitive bill to find food. Platypus reproduction is nearly unique. It is one of only two mammals, the echidna is the other, that lay eggs. Females seal themselves inside one of the burrow's chambers to lay their eggs. A mother typically produces 1 or 2 eggs and keeps them warm by holding them between her body and her tail. The eggs hatch in about 10 days, but platypus infants are the size of lemur bins and totally helpless. Females nurse their young for 3 to 4 months until the babies can swim on their own. The platypus is an animal with a small, streamlined body that is covered in short and dense waterproof fur that varies in color from dark brown on its back with a light brown or silver underside and a plum-colored middle. They have short limbs with partially webbed hind feet and a broad, flat tail, which resembles the tail of a beaver, that are used as rudders when underwater. Their front feet are fully webbed, and help to propel the platypus through the water and can be turned back when on land, exposing their large nails to aid them when walking or burrowing into the river banks. One of the platypus's most distinctive and unusual features is the large, broad bill that looks like the beak of a duck. The bill of the platypus is soft and pliable and covered in a multitude of sensory receptors that help them to detect the small electrical signals emitted from their prey species. Their bills are very touch-sensitive and are often used to probe the mud on the riverbed for the small insect larvae on which they most commonly feed on. Males are larger in size than females and possess a poison spur on the ankle of each hind foot that is used to drive away rival males during the breeding season. The platypus is an animal that is found on the east coast of Australia from Cooktown in Queensland in the north, all the way down to the island of Tasmania in the south, and has also been introduced to Kangaroo Island in southern Australia. They inhabit streams and rivers, and some lakes that have suitable banks for burrowing in and a permanent source of water. They are highly suited to their semi-aquatic environment and possess the best physical characteristics for dealing with life both in and out of the water, with their dense fur helping to keep their warm bodies insulated even in the coldest of water. Their home ranges vary depending on the specific river system and can vary in size from less than a kilometer to more than 7 kilometers, and overlap those ranges of other individuals. Despite their solitary nature, the platypus is thought to be so successful as an animal species as they are able to survive in such a niche environment in the world's driest continent. The platypus is a solitary animal that, despite occupying overlapping home ranges, only comes together during the breeding season or when a mother is looking after her young. They are nocturnal hunters that are able to close their eyes, ears, and nostrils when diving down to the riverbed in search of food. During the day, they rest in burrows that are dug into the river banks using their long, broad nails and powerful front legs. There are 2 different types of burrows used by the platypus, one for resting and one for incubating their eggs and nursing their young. Individual animals may use a number of resting burrows within their home range. Typically, resting burrows are around 5 meters in length, but incubation burrows can reach up to 30 meters long and can have more than one nesting chamber. Breeding takes place between late winter and early spring, July to October, in the water, with males using their poison spurs to deliver a painful dose of poison to their rivals. As part of their courtship ritual, females carry bundles of wet leaves to their incubation chamber at the end of their burrow and plug the tunnel with soil. After a gestation period of between 2 and 3 weeks, the female platypus lays between 1 and 3 small, spherical eggs that are only 1.5 centimeters in size and are soft and leathery. After an incubation period of around 10 days, the young hatch out in a very undeveloped state, measuring barely 1 centimeter in length, blind, hairless, and having blunt buds for limbs. They are nursed by their mother in the incubation chamber for up to 5 months, suckling on the milk on her fur that is secreted by her mammary glands. A young platypus is lighter in color than older individuals and 85% of their adult size when they first become independent. Platypuses tend to live for around 10 years in the wild but can reach ages of 17 or more when in captivity. The platypus is a small, carnivorous mammal whose diet is almost solely comprised of bottom-dwelling aquatic creatures. Young insects, larvae, make up the majority of their diet along with small freshwater crustaceans, snails, tadpoles, and small fish. Due to the fact that their eyes, ears, and nostrils are closed when they are underwater, the platypus relies solely on its bill in order to find food. The small sensory receptors that cover it can detect the electrical signals created by the movement of creatures in the water, and the fact that it is highly tactile means that they can also feel prey species when probing the mud on the riverbed. When hunting, the platypus stores food in cheek pouches located on the sides of the mouth that is then ground up using the horny ridges that the platypus has instead of teeth.